Man, it's been so long since I've been on doing the show. I forgot how to do it. Hey, you guys. So you guys are like, who is this? What is she doing here? I'm here to do this. Here it is. This what the fuck whenever relationship advice show. Oh no. This is the first name I see is the one who's gonna send me to the moon. Tracy. Tracy's ass is here in the house. What's up, girl? Let's see if everybody comes. You know, I have been like so sporadic. It's been a terrible summer. My schedule has just been awful. Get ready to have to go out of town again at the end of the month. So there'll be more shows. Maybe I can do a live stream from my laptop and just be wherever I am. I'll look into that. As long as I had a column, I can do it pretty much anywhere, really. But let's get started because it's hot as hell. If you guys can hear that fan blowing, I have a ceiling fan going. I have another fan blowing right on me. It's 100 degrees in this house. Because I don't have, we never really needed AC like this in this part of the Bay Area. But I bet you I'm gonna get some for next year. I bet you that. I can't do this again. I can't do this no more. This is just ridiculous. So let's get started anyway. Let me see how many did she say here? Oh, it's 22 questions. It says just 22 questions because a lot of them are long as hell. Okay. That means we're going to be skimming. Hey, Maya. Let's get started, though. 22 questions, and some of them long as hell. This is question number 1. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's Caucasian and Aries from Ontario, Canada. Summary of issue: wrong things to say on a date. This is primarily an event, but I just wanted to get your take on this date I had. I am 33 and I've been dating this 28-year-old guy I met on a swipey thing for about 5 weeks. Okay. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. No. No. Right off the bat, no. All right. There are some things that were said on our date last night that I refuse to accept. Him, what irritates the fuck out of you about me? Wow. He gonna ask her that? Me, we haven't been dating long enough for me to answer that question. He accepts that and allows a few minutes of time to pass. Him, you want to know what irritates me about you? Me, enlighten me. How to say it? No. Him, that you're so beautiful. The second thing he says is after about 5 minutes of looking at the check. So are you going to buy me dinner tonight? Me, okay, you asked me to dinner, but sure. Him, not going to lie, I looked up your salary and pay grade online, and you make 2.5 times the amount that I make. Me, well, maybe we should not have dined out today. Deb, do you sense some aggression here? Just so you know, I have never dumped a man so fast. Good for you. But 5 weeks, I don't know. I guess since you said he said it last night, this was the first time he said something that was like really super stupid. I'm going to take that as a yes. But in the future, you in your 30s, you don't date 28-year-old men. That's for 24-year-old and 25-year-old girls to do. Women your age should be dating men 35, 36, 37. Okay, men that allegedly have some sense of maturity about themselves. You going backwards. That's not really, you shouldn't have been doing all that. And then you expect them to have some sense. They don't have any sense in their 20s. Even if you think they have some sense, sure enough, they prove you wrong. So I can't say men in their 20s have any sense. What's up, DJ? Good for you, though, for getting rid of his ass because he sounds stupid. And talking about, are you going to buy me dinner tonight? No. You can pay, you can buy your own dinner, though. I'm not your, I'm not your sugar mama. Fuck out of here. That's what I would have told him. Question number 2. This is a female in the 38 to 42 age group. She's a Virgo, African American from San Jose, California. The male in question is a 38 to 42-year-old Aries. Summary of question: how can I get my husband to parent our kids again after I stopped his punishment? Okay, wait a minute. Oh, god damn. Okay, she wrote a novel. Brace yourself. Let me first say that my oldest son is in his last year of high school and is not the son of my current husband. My husband and I have been married for 14 years, though, and we have 2 beautiful children together. My oldest son's father is not in the picture. My husband is dad in all respects to my son. All the above is said just to clarify our dynamics. I do love him a lot as he cares for me and cares for all of the kids the same. I've never seen any favoritism of any kind towards one or another. But 2 weeks ago, while me and my husband were on our way home on the highway, a car came speeding past us. My husband asked me if that was our son because it was the exact same car as we bought him. My husband sped up and caught up to the car. I think we were doing about 95 to catch him. I remember my husband saying, why the fuck is he driving 90? It was our son, and he was on his phone while speeding through traffic. I think he was texting because we could clearly see him having both hands busy with his phone from the opposite lane. I wanted my husband to honk at him, but he said no, that might just cause issues, catch him off guard, and cause an accident. Yeah, that's true. You don't go honking at people on the highway. Going 90, lady. Okay, I can see you kind of goofy. Let's see what else you fucked up. When we got home, we parked behind our son. My husband walked into the living room and held out his hand and said, give me the keys. My son asked why, and my husband raised his voice saying, give me the fucking keys. When my son took the keys out of his pocket, my husband grabbed him and told him, you are no longer allowed to drive that car, and he left the room. He looked at me and asked what's going on, and I told him we saw him on the highway, and his eyes got all big, and he struggled to say anything. About an hour later, I heard my husband yell from the kitchen, I don't give a fuck about your job or school. You can walk, take a bike or bus. I don't care. You will not be driving that car again. Apparently, my son went to him and apologized and asked for the keys back because he needed to get to work. My son came to me a week ago and asked for the keys because he needed to get to work, and it was raining. He apologized to me again and said it won't happen again. I relented and gave him the keys, and he went off to work. Okay, so your husband said, no, you're not driving the car again. I just want to make sure I understand this. Your son went and apologized. Your husband said, no, you still not driving the car. Take the bus, take a bike, take the feet. I don't care how you get there, but you ain't driving that car, okay? And then you go and undermine his authority with the children by overruling the very, very decent and responsible decision that he made about someone who's driving 95 on the freeway where other people are, and texting to not give him the keys anymore, and you did it anyway. Okay, so I want everybody to understand that's where we are with this, okay? Because it was raining and he had to go to work. So she gives him the keys to the car behind her husband's back. So my husband came home without saying hello, just asked where the car was, and I told him I gave the keys back to our son so that he can get to work. He used the same line on me, saying I told him and you heard me that he isn't allowed to drive anymore, and he could have taken the bus, bike, or walked. I told him it was raining, so I gave him the keys. I told him that he apologized and said it would never happen again. Wow. My husband cut me off and said an apology won't stop an accident or bring him back from the dead or bring other people back from the dead. He hasn't learned a thing. I told him I paid half the car and it was a gift from us to my son, and I also have a say in what happens to it. Oh, you went there? Oh, lady, you fucked up. He looked at me and said, okay, fine. All parental decisions will now fall on you. You are the authority on that, so everything is now on your head. Since then, my husband hasn't done a thing for my son or any of the other kids regarding discipline. When they ask for something, he just says, go ask your mother. Our kids are having free reign around him, and he just steps over every mess they make. And when I asked him why he didn't stop our younger from writing on the wall, he just shrugged and walked off. I tried to talk to him, and he said, you got what you asked for. No matter what I do, you seem to be the authority on any decision on our children, So I just removed the middleman, and you can deal with him and be. And he walked off. He's right. That he did right. What do I do now? How do I get him to help parent our kids again? You can let's sip and sail, girl. You fucked that all the way up with your big mouth. And then you had to double down and say, well, I paid half the car and it was a gift and I have a say. See, you can forget it. He's not going to do shit with them kids until the day he dies. Might not even mess with the grandkids because of your mouth. I'm at the end of my rope, and the kids aren't really listening to me like they do to him, but he is just allowing them now to do whatever they want, just like you did. Of course, he felt undermined. And like I'm saying, what the punishment totally fit the crime that the son did. Going almost 100 miles an hour on a freeway where there are other people's lives at risk. Texting is so irresponsible and stupid. He doesn't need the car. He's not mature enough for the car. That's why the father took the car, to keep from him concealing himself as well as other people with his stupid behavior. And him saying, I'm not going to do it again when he's a teenager. Yeah, right. I'm so sure he's going to stick to that. So the man felt totally disrespected. Like he has no voice in his own house. He's no voice of authority over his children. She gonna undermine and do what she want to do. So he's like, he just removed the middleman, so you do what you want to do, and it just be between the two of you, from between y'all. I won't even be involved. And I think he did the right thing. So now she's up there talking about, well, how do I get him to do it? No, you did what you wanted to do, so you keep doing what you wanted to do. That's how this works. Black women and their mouths. Just always writing a check. Now your ass is cashing, and you're going to be cashing for the next 18 years. And you're going to wish you had to shut up and made that boy take the bus or get an Uber or have his friend pick him up or figure out how to walk there or whatever, skateboard, I don't care. He would have made it happen. And that he basically did, your husband said, he hasn't learned anything. He has suffered no repercussions for that behavior because you just turned right around and gave him the keys like nothing happened. Because he said, I won't do it again. Wow, what a pushover. Well, it's not the son so much. Look at how she disrespected her husband. That's what I'm focusing on. She totally disrespected her husband by telling him all that, hey, Shay, telling him all that. Well, I paid half, and, it was like getting see, that was about the husband. That wasn't about the son at all. This whole thing of her undermining him and going behind his back and doing what she wanted to do anyway, that was to show the husband that she is running shit, not him. That's what that was. So he's letting her run it. I have a feeling this particular woman would have done it if it was a daughter. I don't think it would have made any difference. She seems to be that kind, like when it's her kid, and she wants to be the friends of the kid and be the nice one. And so the kid said, but it's raining, and she want her precious little angel. It's like it's gonna melt like a sugar cube in the rain. So she gonna give him the car keys. She seems to be that kind that would do that, whether it was male or female. So I'm not gonna limit this to a son. And like I said, her main act of aggression was towards her husband. It wasn't about the son. It was about her husband. And that's why he reacted the way that he did. Wow. Oh, wait, I skipped something. Oh, this is a different letter. Question number 3. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Fayette, Kentucky. Oh, let me see. I had this light on. Let me switch. There we go. So I can see better. Fayette, Kentucky, the male, 28 to 34 as well. Summer issue. My boyfriend of 4 years doesn't know if he will ever want to marry me. You in the 28 to 34 age group, and you've been kicking it with him for 4 years, that should be obvious. That's like, they don't take no rocket science. Stevie Wonder could see that, okay? That he ain't trying to marry you. Next month will be me and my boyfriend's 4-year anniversary. We live together and have 2 dogs. Early on in our relationship, we discussed what we wanted in our future, and we both wanted to get married and have kids, but that did not mean with each other. About a year or so, I asked my boyfriend when he thought we would get married, and he said he always saw himself dating someone for 5 or 6 years before getting married. I told him I want to get married before I was 30, so that worked for me. If we were talking about getting married by that time and engaged a year or so before. As our 4-year anniversary approaches, I have begun to feel like he doesn't really feel anything near that. I asked him about it. He said he feels emotionally inadequate. He says he feels worried that he cannot meet my needs of being affectionate enough, and that the gap between him and me and how we are and what our needs are is emotionally draining, even when he is not doing anything. He also brought up that he is a people pleaser and he doesn't want our differences to slowly chip away at him. He brought up that he loves our dogs, but he doesn't think he would ever want more. But he sees how I am with our dogs every day and what a big part of my life they are. So he feels like he can't take that away from me. But if he doesn't, he is compromising what he wants. He brought up also being concerned that we may not want to live in the same place eventually, since my family lives across the country and his is nearby. We have had discussions about this in the past, and I told him that I'm pretty open to where we live, but I do want to live somewhere with a support system. His family is not near us for now, but his parents are planning on moving after they retire in about 5 years. My boyfriend would like to move as well. He just isn't sure where. He also brought up that he doesn't feel like he's ready to get married because he isn't where he wants to be financially, career wise, and he feels like hasn't done a lot other than work. He said he pictures his life would be different at 30 than what it is. I asked him if he felt like we were on a path that would lead to getting married and having children together, or if we're on a path that's not leading to that. He said he wasn't sure. I told him I need him to figure that out sooner rather than later, that I love him and I would marry him today. I don't think there's going to be a perfect time for anything, and having a partner shouldn't stop you from living your life and pursuing the things that you want. I love him and he is who I would choose to spend my life with, but I don't know where I should go from here. Is this pointless, even waiting for him to figure out if he sees a future with me or not? If we've already been dating for 5 years and lived together? If not, how long should I wait for him to give me an answer to that question? Shouldn't that be something he should already know? Any advice is appreciated. Yes, he already knows. That's why he gave you all those reasons. And see, what it is you don't know how to read the room. You being a typical woman, you looking for him to say with definitiveness, no, I'm not going to marry you. But he did say that with all of those words and excuses and justifications and scenarios and what ifs and I don't thinks and all. That's what all of that meant. That he doesn't see this being a long-term successful situation. That's what all of that meant. I don't understand why you don't see that though. So when you ask him at the very end, are we on a path? He's probably sitting there looking at you like, what did I just tell you? No, we ain't on no path. I don't even know where we're gonna be living. And I told you I'm not ready for anything like that. And so that's what he's probably scratching his head like, is she stupid? So what you need to do is you live together and you have 2 dogs. Figure out who's gonna get the dogs. It sounds like it's gonna be you because he don't really care about the dogs. So you find a place and you pack your stuff and you and your dogs go and move to that place and start over with someone else. In the future, do not date anybody for 4 years. You're at the age group where people are making decisions to selecting life partners and getting married. You do not, right? You get all kind of X's from Shad here. So you do not waste 4 years of your life in your late 20s and early 30s on anybody or anything. I don't know what you're doing here. And then you've tried to put all the decision-making power on him. What you say is, I want to be married by the time I'm 30. And, he went through all his little exercise and fertility. And you say, well, don't sound like that's going to happen. So I'm going to look for a place to move and then get up out of here so you can find yourself or whatever the fuck you're trying to do. That's what you do. You take your life into your own hands. What you want, you make it happen. You don't wait for him. Okay? He sounds like he don't really know what he wants, but one thing he does know is that he don't want to be married to you. And he said that very clearly. I understand why you don't understand what he was saying to you. You like you heard the words, but you're not hearing the meaning. It's like some people read stuff and they read the words, they can read the words, pronounce the words, proper punctuation. But when you get back to the end and you ask them, okay, well, what did that just say? They don't understand what they just read. Their comprehension is bad. And that's what I'm seeing with you. Your comprehension of what that man said to you, you're not getting it. Question number 4. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group. She's from Southeast. She's Southeast Asian, living in London. Summary of issue. How do I stop feeling the need to apologize to men for not wanting to date? I am 22 and I have BPD, that's bipolar disorder. If that is relevant, might be. Let's see what's going on. I'm single for the first time ever in over 3 years. My last relationship ended in disaster when my ex, who was 25, was now in jail for domestic abuse. After my last relationship, my mind has broken completely and my sense of self is at the bottom of the toilet. I have no sense of pride, no sense of self-worth, no knowledge of who and what I am, what I know, what I want, what I need. Wow. If I meet a man, I instantly reduce him to he just wants to screw. Him being nice or kind is always done for that purpose. When meeting women, I just think that they are much prettier, sweeter, kinder, smarter, everything than I am, and that they, despite being funny and kind to me, do not really enjoy my company. Wow, you need to hop up on somebody's couch. And most men I have met since the ordeal with my ex have started off as friends, but then after hanging out a few times, it always ends with him wanting more. Me not, him breaking up the friendship because it is hurtful being friends with someone you are interested in that does not feel the same, which I understand, but again, it contributes to my painful realization that my personality is not good enough for a friendship. They need to screw me too. So whenever this happens, or if I meet a man that's upfront from day one that he's interested in more, I have to apologize. And I should not fucking have to, right? Isn't it completely understandable that someone needs or wants to be single? Isn't it heavily insensitive from their part approaching someone whose domestic abuse trial ended a month ago with the intent of dating? Or am I done? Well, how would they know that? You walk around with a placard on your t-shirt that says I just got out of a domestic abuse court. I mean, how would they know that? You charge them with a crime, like because everybody's supposed to be psychic or some shit? No, they not gonna know that. They just gonna see you cute and they want to talk to you. I'm so tired of saying sorry and feeling the need to wrap it up in a little box of fluffy pink clouds of I am so sorry, you're super nice and kind and I like you very much. If it would have been any other time, we could have been married and lived happily ever after. It's not you, it's me. I'm so tired of saying yes to things I do not want just because I do not want to hurt his feelings. I'm so tired of feeling like I'm dirty and as a garden tool after having said yes to those things. Nothing has been, sexual even. It's just like cuddling and watching movies. I swear to God, I have no idea what to make of myself. I just want to cry. Yeah, you need to figure out some kind of way to get yourself to a therapist. That also going on with you is way beyond the scope of this little column. Okay, this would be some intensive work that would require you to get yourself straight. I can tell you this though, stop apologizing. Okay, who you are, your needs, your wants, and the direction that you want to take your life, you don't need to ever apologize to anybody about that ever. Okay, some guy says, I want to take you out. You say no. And he's going to be like, well, why not? Because I don't want to. And he's going to be like, well, damn, you didn't have to say it like that. Well, obviously I did. Because, I just want you to be clear. I'm not trying to be your friend. And I'm not trying to go out with you either. We're not going to be FWBs. We're not going to hang out. We're not going to do none of that. Because I'm not interested. Capiche? And then he'll be like, oh, okay. And then that'll be that. You want to be putting it in all these fluffy clouds and protect their ego and shit. You know what the real deal is? With men, my goal is when they get this clowning, I have to hurt their feelings at least once a day. That's my goal, once a day. If we're with somebody and he like to rear up and pipe up and be acting stupid and saying stupid shit, every day it's my mission. It's on the top of my list. I'm going to say some fucked up shit that's going to crush his ego at least once that day. I'm going to do it every day because he needs to learn a lesson about how to keep his mouth closed and don't be talking to me crazy. So when you do it first and you do it harder, then they get in their feels and then they start thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't mess with her like that. And then they stop doing it. But as long as you protect their egos from the reality of their behavior, like he's like, well, I don't want to be friends with you then because I really wasn't trying to be friends with you in the first place. That's what you really should have said to him when they say that. It hurts me too much. That means you wasn't trying to be my friend anyway, and you were just trying to use friendship as a cover to slide in on the under, you dog. Sneaky ass. I mean, you know what I mean? Because really, he was just trying to play games. And he got busted when he didn't get what he wanted in the end. So you're supposed to call him out on that, not apologize to his ass for it. Yeah, bad dogs and bad kids and bad boyfriends, same thing. Same rules. Pop them on the nose with the new rolled up newspaper, whop. And then you make them go sit in the corner. Same shit, same principle. Question number 5. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's African American, a Scorpio from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Ooh, I wonder where that is. And the male in question is 28 to 34 as well, but he's a white guy and a Taurus. Taurus and Scorpio. Is that a good match, Shay? Summary of issue. Am I wrong to leave a relationship because I don't like my partner when he drinks heavily? So the one who's drinking is the Taurus. For context, I'm 28, he's 32, and we've been dating for about 9 months. Okay, you write an advice letter for somebody you've been dating for 9 months? We had a strong connection and ended up getting pretty serious quickly. As a note, when we met, he had a DUI and he wasn't able to drive, but said he would be able to in a few months. Who said they were just getting a notification? I just saw that. Oh, Giggles. Well, you know what, Giggles? They probably were saving me from you. That's what really happened. They said, let's send hers late so Deb can have a few minutes of peace before Giggles gets there. That's what really happened. Oh, their sister sign? Well, this sound like I'm with Shay. You say drunk anything is a no. Okay. So he had a DUI to the point where they took his license. Okay. But I overlooked this initially, and we've had a few incidents where he became so drunk that he started speaking incoherently and displaying concerning behavior, and yet you stayed. See my t-shirt, y'all? What you not finna do is, so I would have had to homeboy with what we not finna do is be in a situation with some drunk ass motherfucker that speaks incoherently and does dumb shit. So you go be over there by yourself. Yeah, drunkards are hard. I'm with you. I can't do it. This is really triggering for me as I have a family member with mental issues that makes them behave erratically at times as well. I'm a primary caretaker of that family member. I communicated that to my partner and why that bothers me. I've also communicated my need for a partner that can be a safe haven and pillar of stability. Okay, so you need all that. Why are you wasting your time with this drunkard? A few months ago, while on vacation, we got into a massive fight, which included verbally abusive language from him. I ended things, but he kept asking for another chance, and humanly, I also missed him. Upon giving him a chance to fix things, we recently had another one of his overconsumptions of alcohol incidents, and I told him I'm done. He's saying that I'm just giving up and not willing to work through difficult times. I disagree and think he's being emotionally manipulative. Deb, do you think I'm being too harsh? Nope, I think you're being stupid. I think you should have left his ass as soon as you found out that he had a DUI and didn't have no license. And that's the point at which you would have, like Silver said, a hard pass. Be like, well, catch up to me when you get through your AAA and your AA meetings and get your license back, then maybe we can have a conversation. But you just rewarded him with your presence, your body, your time, your energy, and everything else in his like drunken, stupid state of behavior. So it's like, what were you thinking was going to happen? The man is a fool. He's an irresponsible idiot. You so drunk you get arrested and pulled and get a DUI, your license gets snatched? That's how drunk you were. Well, I don't even know what to say. And then he gonna cuss you out and act a fool and be all incoherent, and then he gonna, verbally abuse you while you're on vacation and stuff, and then you take him back. I mean, just drama, all this drama for over 9 months of a relationship with an idiot. Yeah, I'm not doing no, DUI, substance abuses, 90 days in the county jail. I'm not about any of that. I don't want to be bothered with it. I just can't do it. Can't do it. If it was me, I wouldn't want anybody to be bothered with me either. Like, I'm a criminal. Leave me alone. Question number 6. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Caucasian. A Pisces from Colorado. Summary of issue. My ex-boyfriend left me for my best friend, and now they want me to be a part of their wedding. Do you have any advice for me? Yes. Tell them to kick rocks. I mean, who does that? 3 years ago, Sam, my boyfriend of about a year and a half, broke up with me because he had developed feelings for Mary, my best friend. We hung out a lot, and they said that they eventually developed feelings for one another. They admitted that Sam had been cheating on me. They made a fool out of me, Deb. They made me think that everything was okay when it really was not. If they had admitted it at that time, I probably would have just tried to be understanding and support them, but they chose to lie, so I cut them both off. I instead focused on school, and I found a job with a good income. Sam and Mary tried to reach out to me at first, telling me they still want to be friends, but I blocked them. Now I'm living in a town next to the one we used to live in. I got a wonderful job opportunity, so I moved, but I like that I'm still close enough to visit my parents and other relatives. About a month ago, I heard about their wedding from a common friend. It didn't really bother me anymore, so I just went on with my life. Yeah, because that was what, 3 years ago? 2 years ago? Well, it was years ago anyway. But a week ago, I received a message from Mary telling me that she and Sam were getting married and that they would like me to be part of the wedding party. I replied, congratulations and no thank you. I had no feelings for Sam anymore, and I'm even seeing someone else, but I don't want to celebrate the wedding of two people who betrayed me. They were insistent. Now, see, why are they insistent, though? What kind of game is this? What kind of trap are they setting for you? Well, you going to get to that wedding and some bullshit's going to come down the pipe. I can already feel it. There's be no reason for them to be pressuring you. Insisting, that's a strong word. So let's see. She wrote a whole bunch of more stuff, so this ain't the end. Sam also messaged me via a different number. Some of her friends also tried to convince me to come to the wedding. I firmly said no. Even my mom called asking if I was going when I said no. She sounded disappointed, but she didn't push it. This is all just quite weird to me. Why would you want your ex-girlfriend and ex-best friend, the girl you cheated on, to be a part of your wedding party? The day before yesterday, Mary's parents even called me, telling me that they miss me and really hope I could go to the wedding. What? Okay, what do y'all think is going on here? What? Something, this seems deeper than guilt, because they could just apologize and be done with it. But all these different people pressuring her to go to this wedding, there's something going to happen at this wedding. Now, what do y'all think it is, though? Why are they trying so hard to get this girl there? You put your thoughts there. There's some shady shit getting ready to, no. Because her parents are even getting in on it. Okay, so then she says, I firmly said that I would not be going. Her mom berated me, saying that I should let bygones be bygones and that I should be happy for her daughter. I asked her if I had cheated with Mary's boyfriend and then invited her to the wedding, would she convince Mary to go? She had no answer to this, and I hung up. This is getting quite out of hand because I'm receiving 20 to 30 calls and texts a day from their friends and family about this damn wedding. Any advice on how to handle this? Any insights on why they want me to go to their wedding? I just don't think it's normal that they are so insistent. Mary even messaged me with a different number. I don't know how she got my phone number. Also, my hometown is a small town, and most of my friends know that I was cheated on, and that's why this seems so weird to me. I did block the people who were very insistent, including the new numbers of Mary, Sam, and Mary's mom. Also, I keep blocking the people that text me about the wedding, but new numbers just keep popping up, which makes it more weird that people are actually making an effort to get new numbers just so I would attend an ex's wedding. You should change your number. You should change your number and get your number under a different name. I don't know, some other boyfriend's name, boyfriend, sister's name, something that it won't be they can't attach it to you. It won't be your phone, but you can give her the money. You can pay her in advance, him or whoever. Pay them in advance for a year, but the phone will not be in your name, and so they would not be able to track it to you. Something's happening. You know what I mean? But yeah, that would be I'd call around my friends and say, can you add me to your phone plan for a year or so? Because there's a situation here and these people are harassing me and I need some cover. And I know all my friends would do it. I probably wouldn't even want me to pay them, but I would do it anyway. And pay them in advance, for the whole year. And then switch back to my carrier, whatever, after that. But I would definitely have a different phone number. I wouldn't want them to have it. Yeah, that's something they either want to rub it in her face or they want to clown her in some kind of way. Like during the speech, say something, like she couldn't hold her man or there's going to be some way they're going to rub her face in it. Whatever it is, it's not going to be good. It can't be something like, she brought us together and it wasn't the best way that we would have liked it to be or something. And we apologize for it. It's not going to be that because they would have told her that. We want to make a public apology to you at the wedding. It wouldn't be out of secrecy. That's why it has to be something negative. Something they're trying to set a trap for her. And she's smart not to go. And I would suggest, like I said, changing your phone number immediately. Don't even give it to your mother. Let them tell your mother to call you on a Google phone number and you'll call her back, and you can set it up so you call through the Google line. And that'd be the only line she sees. If she want to get that number out, then people can call you. They'll never get you. They can call till their fingers are worn down the nubs. You will never answer that phone. Question number 7. I love my Google phone. Just love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it. Male, 22 to 27. He's Caucasian and Aquarius from Miami, Florida. Third issue. Would you recommend taking an ex-situationship back after they chose someone over you? How the hell were you going to write and ask me some dumb shit like that? When have I ever recommended somebody take somebody back that dogged them? Are you kidding me right now? You must not listen to this channel. I don't know how you decided to write to me with this simple shit. I'm 22 and I met a girl online who's 20. It was long distance and she lived across the country in Oregon and you in Florida. Damn. We talked for 2 years but never met in person. The closest we got to meeting was through video calls. We both knew we loved each other. What? Okay. But after 2 years and 3 months, she left me for someone else. And you never met her in person, but she left you and you loved her. Okay. She said it was because I was giving her mixed signals, which I admit I did. Whenever I realized I was showing too much affection, I would distance myself because we weren't exclusive. And I didn't want to lead either of us on in case things didn't work out. I couldn't fully commit for the same reason. She wanted an exclusive long-distance relationship, but I declined. I suggested we wait until she visited my area, and she and her family usually visit Florida every year for vacations. She was supposed to visit last year, but it didn't happen due to financial issues. She plans on moving here for college, though. She told me it's not certain yet. As of now, we have no idea when she will come here, if ever. I realized that even if we continue what we had before and kept waiting, we essentially are waiting for nothing because at this point, her parents don't have any plans to come here. Her plans to move here for college would require us to wait another year. And even then, it's uncertain if it will happen since she's still inconsiderate. So what is the fucking question? Oh, my God. Dude, you just made me dizzy with all these words. Run-on paragraph. Okay, I guess the question was the first line. Would you recommend taking an ex-situation back after they chose someone over you? No. Okay, end of story. My God, you used a lot of words to say nothing. You ain't even met the girl. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you having all these feelings about some broad you met on the internet? And they never laid eyes on, kissed, hugged, nothing. You're tripping. Whew. And look at that. I feel my hair is wet. My neck is wet. My shirt's sticky to my back. It has been so fucking hot in the Bay Area. It's been like 100-degree days, like every day for a week. We're dying here. This global warming is no joke. Okay, let's move on. Question number 8. I feel like I'm melting. Wait, I need some water. That's what I need. That's probably helped me out. Yep, that's it. So they didn't have to tell me once. So they just start slipping, I'm gone. Because like I say, men speak with actions. Women keep waiting for words. Men tell you what's going on with them by the way they behave towards you. If you pay attention, read the room, pay attention and have your boundaries straight and your self-esteem intact, then when they start clowning and treating you bad, you already know what time it is. You don't need them to tell you, well, I want to break up. You would be like, oh, I can see you want to break up, so let's deuce out. Boop. And then you be gone. They don't need to tell you with words. My God. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. Question number 8. This is a female, 35 to 42 from Boston. Serve issue. I'm getting heat for telling my nephew that he had to move out after a year of supporting him. What would you do, Deb? I wouldn't have supported no grown-ass person for a year. Are you tripping? My nephew, who is my husband's brother's child, had just come out as trans when he moved in with us. Well, okay. His mom wouldn't let him live at home because she has a small child and said she couldn't have all that around her kid. He was in his early 20s, didn't have a high school diploma, was about to be homeless. We have a small house and 3 children, 2 away at college, but we took him in to understand it would be temporary, just a few weeks, so he could save some money and get on his feet. He can save money in just a few weeks. You tripping. Enough to pay an apartment rent and stuff. It's more like a couple of months. While my middle child was away at college, my nephew stayed in his room. But whenever my son came home from school, my nephew had to sleep on the couch. We told him we couldn't last summer with him on the couch, and he agreed, saying he'd be out by then. Summer came, but he was still here. We paid for everything, rent, bills, food, everything. When he started his transition, I took him shopping for clothes, his first bra and makeup, things his mom said should have done but didn't know she should not have done all of that. He was just doing the most. I loved him and wanted him to feel supported. He got a part-time job, and at Christmas, both sides of our family gave him money to help him save. My side of the family, who isn't even blood related to him, was incredibly generous. But instead of saving, he spent all the money on expensive video game console. I was disappointed but tried to be understanding, thinking maybe he just needed something to enjoy after such a tough life. But the reckless spending continued. He even lied about saving money and went on a trip he couldn't afford. Meanwhile, my oldest son, who has autism, graduated from college in December and had $6,000 saved by the time my nephew moved out, and he started working. My son worked hard, earned his degree, and saved responsibly, while my nephew barely saved anything. At one point, I even found him a car through my work and a charity for just $500, a deal you rarely come across. Instead of being grateful, he asked if he had to pay the transfer fees. When I asked him, he had sent a thank you note to the person who helped us get the car. He brushed it off, saying surviving has been the priority. His ungratefulness really stung. Even after getting the car, he only worked part-time, monopolizing our family room and playing video games loudly when he wasn't at work. My husband, who was dealing with mental health issues and had just come out of a manic episode, asked him to let him use the TV in the evenings. Instead of respecting that simple request, my nephew tried to negotiate time for the television. That was the final straw for my husband, who felt like he had lost control of his own home. Around this time, my nephew told us that he decided to detransition, and we supported him through that decision just as we had when he started transitioning. See what I mean? He don't know what the fuck he's going to do. By the end of the summer, after a full year of living with us, he admitted he had only saved $500. We were furious. He offered to pay rent, but we knew that would just set him back even further from his goal of saving. I told him that things had to change and that he needed to start contributing by helping with household chores. You weren't making him do any chores? He flat out refused, saying, I'm not cleaning up after people. That's when I snapped and said, who do you think has been cleaning up after you all this time? I told him the conversation was over and he needed to step up or move out. We sent him to stay with his grandparents for a week to give everyone some space. When it was time to talk again, he demanded there be no yelling because it was triggering for him. I told him I couldn't guarantee that, given how hurt and frustrated we were. That's when things escalated further. I see what Candace means. Now, this lady wrote a goddamn novel. Okay, he says he's not responsible for the husband's mental health. And so she called him out that he said he was only going to stay a few weeks and he's been living rent-free while they paid for everything. And his response was, I took full accountability in our last conversation. Just because you didn't like my answer doesn't mean I didn't take accountability. I told him that if he didn't take real responsibility for his actions, I couldn't guarantee that there wouldn't be more frustration or even yelling. He insisted, I'm not showing you my bank account. I'm an emotional spender. I shut down because I was in a trauma. He blamed his actions on everything but himself, which made it clear to me that he wasn't willing to own up to his part in this. Finally, he decided to pack up his things and leave. He unfollowed me on social media, and when my husband confronted him, my nephew ended the conversation by saying disrespectfully, go fuck yourself, you egotistical, dysfunctional, delusional piece of shit. Wow. I'm feeling conflicted. Was I wrong for telling him off? Shouldn't he know he did this to himself? I feel like he took advantage of us and now feels entitled despite everything we did. No, you took advantage. You did it to yourself because you moved him in and you didn't set no ground rules. You didn't say you were going to wash the dishes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You're going to vacuum. You didn't give him. You didn't handle this well. You were supposed to tell him of your paycheck, of how much is your paycheck. Show me your paycheck. Okay, you're going to give me half of your paycheck every month, every time you get paid, and we're going to put it in an account for you. And when it gets to be enough for you to get a pay first, last, and deposit for an apartment, you're going to get out. That's how you should have handled that. You can see the boy was in some kind of weird state. I mean, these kids, I mean, people don't even seem to understand it, but you got some kid who's lived his life as a boy or lived his life as a girl their entire life, and suddenly they in all this chaos of, this trend of being trans and shit, kids want to fit in. In my era, it was people jumping around talking about they was going to be Moonies. In my cousin's eras, it was people talking about they was going to be part of, the Elijah Muhammad and that the Muslims, that black Muslims stuff was just getting started then. So, in each generation, there's some kind of trend, something that young people want to be a part of that's going to make them feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. And there's people like them and, people who understand them and, people who get themselves in and then like, I think in the 70s, it was this est movement. You guys heard of est? It was really big in the Bay Area over here in Northern California, est. And so, I mean, like I said, each thing there's something for this. Now, this one though, I think is the most dangerous because these kids are like disfiguring their bodies, like doing permanent surgical damage to their bodies and dose themselves up with drugs, with hormones and stuff. No one knows what the long-term effect of that's going to be on them as well as their descendants. That's the part that's scary. You read about that drug thalidomide from the 50s. It didn't really affect the women who took it so much. It affected their children and those children's children. Just fucked them all up. Kids having like hands growing out their foreheads and shit like that. It was crazy. And so it's, we don't know what these drugs are going to be doing to these kids. But they're so hungry to feel like they are part of something. They have direction and somebody understands and all stuff. They're globbing onto this trans shit. And the people who are running these organizations are taking advantage of this. But I'm telling you, this is not unusual. All young people go through this where they're trying to find themselves. But as a parent, it's your job to redirect your kid when they start listening to other people like that. You don't let them get caught up in them kind of stupid fads and don't listen to other people like that. So what you were supposed to do when this boy was talking about he was transitioning, you're supposed to say, no, you're not. You're going to come into this house and you're going to be the young man that you are, and you're going to get a job and you're going to go back to school and get your GED, and you're going to do something with yourself. Besides sit around here thinking you're going to be wearing bras and lacy panties. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If you want to do stuff like that, you have to do it on your dime. It means you're going to get a job. You're going to move the fuck out and you're going to pay for all your drugs and underwears and stuff like that by yourself. That's what that means. But as long as I'm paying it, you're going to be Roger, and that's the way it's going to be. If you don't like that, then you don't come to my house and we won't be having this problem. Those are your two choices, Roger. They go mental on those drugs. Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with it, but it was frightening to me to hear how this was being pushed on kids, even against the parents' will. They were like basically taking over the kids from their parents, legally, so that they could run these drug experiments on these people's children. And the kids being so confused, like I said, this is not unusual. Where they're pitching around trying to figure out who they are and what they want to be when they grow up. This is normal. It's the normal passage of teenagehood. But one thing you do as a parent is protect your kids. You got to protect them from themselves for the most part. And these, this agenda is pushing so hard that it's making it hard for parents to do that. So these people, the lady did it. Her son went to the uncle's house, and then they got caught up in his confusion. Unfortunate. But luckily he's detransitioning, so hopefully he get himself together. Question number 9. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Palatine, Illinois. Summary issue. My mom is terrible and extremely immature, and I wish she wasn't my mother. Wow. My mother is 40 years old, and she acts like a teenager. I get so jealous when I see other people with friend-like relationships with their moms. They're able to tell them everything. They go out together. They financially support it, even the slightest, etc. I've never had those things. My mom was never there for me. She's always been more focused on men and going out to bars and stuff. That means she probably had you real young, right? Let's see what if you say it. She's 40 and you 18 to 21, but where are you in that group? Let's see if you say, okay. I was neglected a lot as a child because of this. Me and my older brother by a year took care of each other since we've been toddlers. I thought this would change over time, but she's never matured and still acts like a teenager. My whole family has given up on her. She's never wanted to work and would jump from job to job, quitting after a month or so. My brother has slight autism, so she's used the disability checks and government help to pay rent and all of that. None of that money went to us for getting proper needs met. I started working at 15 to get by bare minimum necessities. She stopped getting the checks once my brother turned 18 4 years ago, and we jumped apartments every few months since she never pays rent anymore and gets evicted. I'm a hard worker, and now I recently got my own apartment to get away from her all of her bullshit. She got evicted, so I let her stay with me and my boyfriend in our small studio apartment for 2 months rent-free. Why'd you do that? Don't ever do that shit again. Your boyfriend didn't sign on to be looking up at your mother in the studio apartment. Your mothers can go to a homeless shelter. Don't let her infringe on your life like that. See, there you go, doing some dumb shit. She ended up going to jail, and her abusive ex-boyfriend bailed her out and got her a train back home, and she ended up taking his debit card and using it. He knows where I live, but not which unit, which makes me so scared since he's a violent person, and I live on the first floor. I've seen his car outside my window, and he's been texting my boyfriend nasty things about her, but my boyfriend never answers, though. She's now living with my grandma because she knows it's not safe for her here. But now she's left her daughter to deal with her own danger and mistakes. So classic. I'm so tired of her. What should I do? You should have never let her, like I said, kept your boundaries and never let her move in with you. That was a gross error in judgment. You say, no, mother, you're not going to live with me. You're going to go find yourself someplace to stay. A homeless shelter, they have plenty of them. Go make it work. And then send her there. Okay, so what you're doing is doing that codependent thing. Like she, fucks up and then you cover for her. Don't you ever do that again. You're not giving her no money. You're not going to let her stay with you. You're not going to let her give her no rides nowhere. Nothing. You're going to separate yourself from this woman until she gets her shit together. If she don't get her shit together, then you will never have to deal with her again. And don't you let her come to your house. She's not going to visit. Okay, she shouldn't even know where you live. You up there letting her stay with you for 2 months in a studio apartment. I know your boyfriend was fit to be tied. So you making him basically, he has to help pay for your trifling ass mama. Feeding her, putting a roof over her head and paying extra lights and water and stuff because she's using up the utilities. Now you on some bullshit. Get your shit together, chick. Your mother has made her bed. Let her lay in it by herself over there somewhere. Yeah, she wouldn't have came to my house and said, hell no, you ain't coming here. And she went to jail, so that's good. That's where she need to be. Question number 10. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Waterloo, Iowa. Summary of issue. A potential girlfriend is upset that I had her leave my place at 3 a.m. Potential girlfriend. At 3 a.m., even after she said many times that she should. I was just trying to be respectful of her boundaries. ... There's a girl I've been seeing for a few weeks, and things have been going amazingly. We have completely similar personalities, sense of humor, and we get along great. She came over to my place for the first time about 2 nights ago, and we had a very intimate night and talked about so many deep things like life goals for about 4 hours in my bed until 3 in the morning. We fell asleep for a while, but she kept saying over and over that she needed to go home, but she didn't really want to, but she needed to. She left her dog at the house, and she only lives a 5-minute drive away. And I felt like the respectful thing to do at this point with a non-official relationship was to have her leave because I thought she was being playfully teasing. Plus, I had to work in the morning. She had a busy day the next day, too. So after she left and the next day, things had clearly been off. When I finally pushed her about it, she explained via text how she basically felt disrespected and that she didn't like that I made her leave. I told her during the night I didn't want her to leave, but I didn't want her to leave her dog at home alone either. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, and since I explained my logic, she's completely shut down and isn't talking to me anymore. I feel like giving her space and letting be what may be, but I was really hoping this one would work out since we were both looking for the same thing. Also, I find her personality and appearance both gorgeous until now. I'm sort of put off, but willing to say if I made a mistake. What do I do to move forward? Deb, I was really hoping this would go well, and it was 10 out of 10 until now. Well, this is what happened. She was saying that because she wanted you to beg her to stay. So if you talk to her again, say, in the future, if you have something that you want from me, open your mouth like a big girl and an adult and fucking say it and stop laying in the bed hinting around and shit and thinking I'm supposed to be a goddamn mind reader and then getting mad when I read your mind wrong. That's what you need to say to her. Because what she's doing is not fair. It's not fair to you at all. But this may be it, in which case you'd be off the hook, because I don't like people that do this passive aggressive stuff. And see, she's established this as her communication style. So I always tell people, pay attention to how somebody is. Don't go by what you wish and hope. Go by what they show you. And she's showing you that she does this hinting, passive aggressive thing. And since you didn't read her mind correctly and couldn't see deep into her thoughts and know what she meant, and except when you just barely know the bitch, then she's gonna get mad, and now she don't want to talk to you. So see, all of that is giving you a message: the shut down, the not talking, the lack of communication, the failure to be mature about what she wants from you and be direct and clear. All of those things indicate someone who's immature and has bad communication. In spite of the fact that you said, you guys talking about all these intimate things, that's not in personal communication. That's not communicating how you feel, what you want, being vulnerable. That's what I'm talking about. Where you expose what your needs are and what your wants are and what your hurts are to the person that you love or want to love or whatever. She didn't do that. She left it for you to guess, and you guessed wrong. And so that's what happened. But I could see. I mean, that's what she was doing. She was trying to hint around. Oh, I should go. I should go. But see, I'm the kind. I don't like that kind of stuff. She said, you done said that 5 times. When are you leaving? That would have been Deborah, and then she would have really got upset. But it's like, don't play them kind of games with me. Let's move on. Question number 11 for the silly girl. Female, 20 to 34, from Wilmington, Delaware. Some issue. How do I communicate my frustration with my best friend who is always late? I felt left in an abusive relationship last spring and moved back to my home city with my 2-year-old daughter in tow. When I got home, I started spending time with this young lady I'd known as more of an acquaintance through my teens and 20s, but we realized we had a lot in common and became pretty close friends. She suffers from depression and anxiety and lives with her mother. She has a substantial trust fund, and her family spends thousands each month on her therapist. She doesn't take any medication. I have had my fair share of mental health struggles, and I've been in and out of therapy since I was a child. I'm 30 now. I understand what it's like to be anxious. The problem is that whenever we make plans, she's always hours late. Sometimes it's issues with public transportation, but often it's just because she, quote, felt ugly or didn't like her outfit, or otherwise couldn't motivate herself to leave the house. And you wait for her? That's what it sounds like. I've spoken to her about this before, and she seems to understand that it's upsetting, but her corrections have only manifested as apologies instead of a concerted effort to be on time. I think she was only successfully where she's supposed to be once since I brought it up months ago. I can't help but feel resentful about this. I have a child, and I don't really have the luxury of languishing indoors whenever I can't bear the thought of being perceived by anyone. Even though we're often waiting at home, I still hate the suspense of not knowing when she's going to show up. It throws off my schedule and makes me feel like I have no control over anything. When we finally do get time together, it's wonderful when she has a great relationship with my daughter. I don't want to lose this crucial friendship during this time of hardship. I don't really have anyone else who I'm that close to now, as my old friends are largely busy with their careers or have moved away. Any ideas on how to navigate this? Oh God, I had a friend like that. It was before, when I was still in Houston. And oh God, I just could not stand it. Like I said, okay, I'm gonna pick you up at, she was a nervous driver. I could not stand to drive with her. She just, I need to get where we're going without you, hands shaking behind the wheels and you doing everything nervously. It made me nervous to drive with her. So I did the driving. So I was like, okay, I'll pick you up. Let's just say 8 o'clock. I'll pick you up at 8 o'clock. We go hit this club. It's crosstown. We'll be there, at 9 when they open or whatever. And so we can get a seat. And so I show up at her house at 8 o'clock. She just now get ready to get in the shower. That happened 2 times. You know what I did after that? I'll meet you there, says Deborah. And I would get there and I'd be having myself a good time. She rolled in there about 10:30. Sometimes I'd still be there. Sometimes I would have moved on to some other place. Because I like to, I don't want to stay at the same club. I don't want to see what's happening in different parts of town. That's how I did her. Because I just was not going to be waiting for her. Now you have the additional thing when you have a 2-year-old, little kids like that have a schedule. They have to be on a schedule for their meals and their naps. 2-year-olds without proper sleep are hangry is no. That's you not trying. No, I don't know. No parent who wants to be part of that scene. Okay, you want them little suckers fed and happy and rested so they don't be clowning. 2-year-olds will just ruin your life. Okay, when you don't want that. So that's what you got. Where she's trying to interfere with your kid's schedule. I'll tell her we can't do that. And so either you be there on time or I'm going to leave. Because little Susie needs her rest and she needs her food. And we're going to go home. And then I'll just see you when I see you. Yeah. You have to make my rounds. Girl, I got to see all the dudes. I need to see what's happening. Who's over here? Who's from out of town? Those would usually be the best clubs. And a bunch of people from other places. But yeah. I know you said you don't really know anybody and it's like your only friend and you feel kind of like you don't really have too much choice, but they have those mommy and me groups with other groups with parents. There's little story times at the library and stuff like that. You can meet other people. You just have to make an effort to do so. Question number 12. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group. She's Latina. A Cancer from San Antonio, Texas. The male is a 22 to 27-year-old white guy, and he's a Capricorn. Cancer and Capricorn. Sign issue. Is it worth dating a fat shaming boyfriend? Never is it worth it. Let's see what happens. Not that I'm obese or anything. I'm a little overweight, about which I'm extremely aware. I've been working out religiously and skipping all the junk food, but my boyfriend is constantly mocking and making fun of me that I'm fat and all, and asks me to stop eating even from having a home cooked food. I really like him, but is it really worth dating him? No. When I confront him saying that it's hurtful, he says, I'm just joking. You can't even take a joke. At this point, I'm down if he even likes me. I'm so sad. Well, what you do is start making jokes. He makes jokes about you being too big. You make jokes about his dick being too little. And then when he gets upset, you say, well, I was just joking. Can't take a joke. So that's how you have to do men like that. You know, you go on that Facebook page, that Gray Sweatpants Facebook page. All the men on that page are packing. And you start putting them pictures on your phone and you show him, see, you should be like this. That's why I say your shit is too little. I still like you and everything, but, you know, you need to stop talking about me being fat. Because, I mean, if your dick is not fat, then, I mean, you really need to shut up. Okay? Don't talk about nobody else. Let's talk about you. Exactly. Got to match their energy at all times. And that would shut him down, you know, because he wouldn't be thinking that was too funny. That's how you got to do men. Because sometimes, you know, I hate to say this, but it's just like they just don't fucking get it. They say the craziest shit to women, and then until a woman fires back and lights their ego and bursts it into flames, then they fucking go, then the light comes on and they understand all of a sudden. But as long as it's just them laughing at you and hurting you and throwing little lugs and barbs at you, oh, it's all in good fun and you can't take a joke. You circle that shit back, do that silly thing on him, that, you know, right back at you thing, and watch his face crack, and you get a whole new fucking understand. Girl, yes, the gray sweat. I can't go on that page. It's just, it makes my heart race. I was like, I'm too old. I mean, I have a cardiac arrest. It's just too much. And the brothers be fine. I'm like, oh my God, they cute and packing. This is terrible. What happened? Where were you all my life? Oh, okay, let's move on. Question number 13. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group. She's mixed race in Germany. The male, 22 to 27, is a white European. Same issue. I'm going to move abroad, but my boyfriend always wants to stay at the house. I'm 23. My boyfriend's 25. We've been together for 5 years and started living together about 6 months after dating. Why all these people be rushing in to live together? Our views about the future don't seem to align at all. He's a city of this country where we're living now, Germany. He's born and raised here. He always said he doesn't ever want to move abroad, not even to a different state or city. He generally hates traveling and prefers to stay at home. I'm a foreigner living in Germany for 5 years. We met shortly after I moved here, and I just hate it here. I want to leave. I have an opportunity to move to China next year, which I would love to do, but he won't come with me, and I don't know what to do. You know, they don't have not many jobs in China, so what you doing? You better have to bring your money with you. Traveling is my life. I visit over 40 countries solo, and I have lived in 5 so far. I work remotely. My dream is to live in many places and speak many languages, get a master's degree abroad, go to language schools, etc. It's okay for him that I do a lot of solo traveling and short-term studies, but I'm always quite sad that he cannot share these trips either with me. Money isn't a problem. He said he wouldn't spend a cent on travel even if he was a billionaire. He wouldn't travel even if I paid for him. His ideal vacation is staying home, and I just don't get it. I did a 1-year long distance relationship when I was an exchange student in 2022, and it was okay. But at this time, I want to leave for good to go to China. I'm always negative and constantly complaining about life here, which also isn't helping the relationship. My friends say, well, just break up and go. You only live once. But I feel so selfish for me to do this. Like I'm about to ruin a great relationship and betray my love for him for some childish reasons. But I just hate living in Germany. I know it's better to choose myself, but I'm afraid I'll regret it till the end of my days. 5 years of a relationship is such a long time. Okay, sunk cost fallacy girl. My boyfriend is upset that I want to leave, but he says I should choose my dreams and it's my life, and it just breaks my heart. Am I being immature and childish? Do I choose my relationship or moving abroad? Anything I can do? Any advice is appreciated? Yes, you pack your shit and go. What the fuck? He's telling you to go. And what you see, if you hate it and you want him to go. Then he tells you, I want you to chase your dreams and be happy, and then you get sad and mad at him. He can't win with you because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Pick one and then stick to it. Either stay in Germany with the man that you so love and put 5 years of a relationship into, and then shut the fuck up about going to China, or you go to China and leave him there in Germany. Pick one, because that's the way it's gonna be. You gotta choose one. God damn it. Yeah, but you don't do 5 years of dating. It's such a long time. That's right. That's why it should be 5 years and one more day. Pack your shit and get out of there. He won't care. As long as he can stay at home, he'll be happy. Question number 14. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group. He's black from Sarasota, Florida. The female is 22 to 27, Latina. Summary of issue. My girlfriend is obsessed with being all up in my phone. Anytime I use my phone, my girlfriend is standing over my shoulder looking at what I'm doing. Every time I text a friend or my best friend, she is over my shoulder reading the whole conversation and asking who I'm talking to and what it's about. Deb, this is every damn time. I pick my phone up. If I'm on the phone, even with my mother, she stands by so she can hear. She's already gone through my whole phone, my social while I was asleep before. And when I walk away from my devices, she tries to sneak and look at things without me knowing. Wow. And you staying with her? When my screen lights up with a notification, she looks herself before I do and asks me, who's that? I'd assume she'd just be done with this after going through all my stuff already. Now it's our first week of living together. And you was going through all that and you let her move in? What's wrong with you? And she's still doing, of course she's still doing it. And now she's going to be able to do it 24/7 because she's there all the time. She moved into my place. It's honestly getting to be really irritating and overbearing. I don't do it to her at all. And when I walk in the room, when she's on hers, she quickly closes everything and shuts the screen off. But why don't you start doing that too? I asked her why, because it's weird, and she didn't respond. I'm used to living alone, having my own freedom to use my phone whenever I want, and not having someone over my shoulder every single time I pick it up. I'm typing this as she's asleep. It makes me want to hide and not even use it because she's making me so uncomfortable. I'm not responding to my friends or family as consistently because I feel like I have to wait till she's not around to avoid this monitoring behavior. I brought up how weird it is, and she says it shouldn't be weird to you. I'm just looking. Part of me wants to start doing it back to her. Petty, I know. Short of that, do you have any ideas on what can I do to fix it? Yes. Okay, you was a black man, but you not acting like one. Okay, let me just be blunt. You acting like some little pussy. So let me just explain to you. Okay, she's standing over your phone. You trying to text a friend. She's over there reading the whole conversation. Back the fuck up. Stay the fuck away from my phone. You need to know what I'm texting to. It's not your goddamn business. Is what you need to say to her and back her up. Okay. Then you pick up your phone. You say, "Do you have some business with my phone?" The answer to that question is no. Back the fuck up. And she's like, she wanted to be in your mouth and digging in your phone and stuff like that. That is the point at which you should have tossed her out of your life. That's a boundary violation. I know people do that kind of stuff. You know, women be bragging about how they did. I checked his phone. And dudes, I checked her phone. See, to me, when you start doing that to me, you start rummaging through my drawers and closets and shit like that. Oh, we're done here. We are so done. You're not going to be treating me like that. You're not going to be looking at nothing unless I give it to you to look at. That includes my photo books and magazines. Unless I say there's some magazines, you help yourself and look at what you want to. If I don't say that, don't you touch my shit. Don't touch my books. Don't touch my magazines. Don't touch my drawers. Don't touch my photo albums. Don't touch my music. Don't touch shit in my house. Sit your ass in that chair over there and fold your hands in your lap and you just sit there and look at the wall. That's what you do. That's why nobody want to come to my house. They're like, you're too mean. I'm like, I didn't invite you here anyway. So you just come knocking on the door and shit, sit down right there. Don't touch nothing. Now, what he needs is he don't have no spine. That's what it is. So, he asked me what I would do. And she asked me, who's that? That's none of your goddamn business who it is. Don't ever ask me that shit again. That's what she would have got from me. Not your fucking business who's on my phone. But see, you didn't do any of that. So you didn't put any boundaries and checks and stuff in place. So you just let her get away with it. So now she feels emboldened like it's okay to do it and keep doing it. It's going to be irritating. And then, she's doing you like this and then you let her move in. You was really something wrong with you. Anyway, when you tell her, you're going to keep doing this kind of stuff and you're going to have to get the fuck up out of here. That's what's going to happen. And this relationship would be over because I'm not tolerating this. It's like I'm trying to figure out what was going on with you. But now I decided that you think that this is okay. And I'm not about that life. So you keep doing it again. And we're going to be through here. This relationship will be over. Yeah, that to me is a violation. But I mean, I know people who, they like, oh, I don't have anything to hide. I don't care that I don't have anything to hide. It's mine. That's my stuff. It's my privacy. It's my personal items. Those things that have meaning and memories to me. Maybe I don't want other people touching it. I don't want your grubby mitts and sweat and stuff on my stuff. I didn't tell you to touch my stuff, so you don't touch it. But that's just me. I don't like that kind of stuff. Question number 15. This is a female. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. This is the next one. She's 22 to 27. She's black. She's from Indianapolis, Indiana. Same issue. Did I do too much? Dear Deb and the squad, I am a 22-year-old student who is seeing a 37-year-old guy. Why? Why were you doing that? We had a few dates, and while he said he was looking for something long-term, his actions felt inconsistent with that. He was very forward and pushed to be intimate early on, which made me uncomfortable because I'm not ready for that. And I'm looking for a meaningful long-term relationship, so it was really a turn-off. Despite expressing my desire to take things slowly, he didn't seem to respect that, and his communication dropped off after that. Plus, I found out he lied about his age. He's actually 43, not 37. So I decided to unmatch and delete his number because I felt he wasn't on the same page, and I don't want to waste my time on something that doesn't align with my goals. Did I handle the situation correctly, or is there something else I should have done? Nope, you did it exactly right, and I'm very proud of you. Good for you. The only thing is, okay, you're not going to go out with nobody who's over the age of 30. And even that's kind of pushing it for somebody 22. But we'll allow that. 30. That's it. That's your cutoff. Not 37, not 39, not 43. No. That's like grandpa age for you. Get out of here. Yeah, get in here and sit down. I'm telling you, that's why they don't like to come here. Because I just think they come straight to the door, right to the couch. Sit there, don't get up. The bathroom, if you need to go to the bathroom, you let me know. It's right there. Don't be looking at my medicine cabinet. I hear the noise. I know it's booby trapped. I know you open the door looking in there, being nosy. Don't look at the little closet that's in the bathroom where all my stuff, cosmetics and shower towels and shit, all your shit like that is in the bathroom. Don't look, open that. There ain't shit in there for you. There's a yes towel on the rack there. So it's like, they have no reason to open anything. Everything that you need is right there by the sink. So you go do what you're going to do, wash your hands, dry your hands, come back and sit back in that spot that I told you to sit. And that's where you're going to stay till we leave. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, so this is question number 16. She says she's 22 to 27, a Virgo from Milwaukee. Sorry, I have an issue. My boyfriend keeps checking his ex's Facebook page. My boyfriend used to be obsessed with this girl. From the way he has described it, she sounds like the one who got away. They were friends with benefits, but she stopped seeing him when he admitted that he loved her. He says he was depressed, almost near self-harm, and heartbroken for 2 years after she left him, and admits to comparing us early on in our relationship. Honestly, I was a bit alarmed about hearing this and hearing how he feel if he saw her in person, and he responded that he'd feel a rush of emotion and memories, but wouldn't want to go back, and that he loves me more than anything. Ever since hearing this, though, she has always been in the back of my mind. He treats me wonderfully, and I have very little to complain about. He's one of the most supportive and caring people that I've ever met. And he seems serious about a future together, but this keeps nagging at me. Which brings me to yesterday. He was showing me some funny videos on Facebook, and when he clicked the search bar, she was recently searched. My heart dropped, and I felt sick. I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I immediately looked at his phone when he was showering. He has clicked her profile twice in the past 2 months from what I can tell. I feel really upset that he's still looking at her page, given their history, especially since it's been 4 years since they broke up. 2 years he was single and 2 years with me. This is really eating me up inside, and I'd like some third-party opinion, as I feel like I'm not thinking totally clearly. Would you bring this up with him if you were me? If so, how? Do you think he's still in love with her? I'm so upset. No, you're not going to bring it up, because now you're going to have to expose the fact that you was nosy and digging all up in his phone. And that's so inappropriate. You're not going to do that. See, when you go looking for shit and then you find shit, then you have to keep shit to yourself. That's the rule of digging in people's business. You don't be running your mouth about it. So what you do, you found out that he looked at her page. Okay, so he looked at it 2 times in 2 months. Big whoop-de-doo. Did he write her? Did he call her? Did he text her? Did he send her a Facebook message? Have they been communicating? Did they go out on a date? Did they speak at all? I think I'm probably the only person in the world that doesn't look at it, doesn't hunt up my exes. Because every other woman I've ever met, and most men too, they like to keep in touch with their exes in some way, shape, or form. Check out their social media, talk to people that know, mutual friends and ask about them, all this kind of stuff. I never do that. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck. And I seriously don't give a fuck. Whereas a lot of people will say that, but then they're like, oh, but it was so nice when we were together. And, they reminisce and have pictures and look at them and all this kind of stuff here. I probably have some pictures of some of them in my storage, but you can see I don't even know. And if I do, I don't know where they are. And if they are, that means I haven't looked at them in years because I don't even know if I still have them. But I don't care. I don't care to look at them. Yeah, they are. And like I said, I want mine to be picked up by aliens or eaten by jaws or something. I just they cease to exist to me once we're broken up. So I would never go look on their social media. I block them. I don't want to talk to them. I'm not trying to see you on the street. We're not meeting up for old time's sake to have a drink and shoot the breeze. We're not doing none of that. None of it. You're gone out of my life, and that's where I want you to be, and I want you to stay over there. So, I don't understand that kind of behavior, but from what I hear, it seems to be pretty normal. So I'm not really sure why you're so upset, especially since it's been so long ago. But I don't know. I have a feeling you're going to say something to him now and you're going to mess yourself up. Question number 17. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group. He's Caucasian from Portsmouth, Mouth in the UK. The female is 20 to 34 as well, and she is black. Oh, this is interesting. Current issue, a relationship between my friend and my wife. I need a bit of advice to see if I'm overthinking things, if this is something to worry about. I know a couple I've been friends with for many years. This guy's a bit of a ladies' man, and when I met my partner, he was keen to meet her. Anyhow, after a few months, we all met up, and he immediately treated her like a long-lost mate and did so every time we met up. Fast forward to a few months back. I proposed to my partner last year and invited those two to the wedding this year. The couple decided to take us away for a couple of days as a wedding present. We went to a karaoke bar, and he asked her to sing with him, which she did, but his arm was around her, but her arm was not around him. On the way back, they walked back in front of me and his wife, arm in arm, which I thought was very strange if this was only a couple of weeks before our wedding. Then the day before the wedding, a large group met up for a drink, and he said to my wife-to-be twice, marry me instead. My wife-to-be told me this and laughed it off. We had an entertainer at the wedding, and he asked my wife to pick someone to help the guy, and she picked my friend out of a room of 60 people. I didn't see anything happen at the wedding. While away for a few days after the wedding, we were having a few drinks, and she just randomly came out with, I don't fancy him, he knows I'm married, something along those lines. And she mentioned him at least once a day in general conversation. We are going away with them on a cruise for a week, and I'm scared of what might happen. Am I just overthinking this? Thank you, Deb. No, you're not overthinking it. If she talking about, that's not necessarily normal to talk about your man's friend at least once a day. Who does that? I would bring that up to her. Are you aware of the fact that you bring that monkey motherfucker up at least once a day? What is going on here? You pay way too much. And then I would cancel that trip with those friends. Say, no, we're not going. We're having some issues in our marriage, and we need to straighten them out alone. We'll catch up with you guys on another time. That's what you need to do. And you need to take control of your situation here, sir. You're running scared. It's like you're looking at it and you don't know. It's like you don't believe what you're seeing or something. And it's like, it's really kind of sad that you're this timid. I want you to put your big boy pants on and approach your friend and say, okay, now this shit here, you did it and it was all fun and games and stuff before we got married, but you crossed the line here with this marry me, not him thing. And I don't like you touching my wife. I want you to keep your hands to yourself. Put your hands on your wife. And you haven't done any of that though. You haven't put any boundaries in place. So I don't know, I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, I need to go. Somebody's at the door. I think it's the UPS guy. I have to sign for a package. Okay, I'm back. Ooh, excuse me. I have to wash my hands too, because you never know where those packages be when you're touching them. So I always wash my hands after I handle those packages. So I'm back. So let's pick up where we left off with this crazy advice question. Okay, so this young lady, this is question number 18. She's 22, 27 from North York in Canada. Summer issue. Is this a valid enough reason to break up? I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years. Wow, it's so long. We don't live together. He travels sometimes. He called me when he came back home saying he wants to spend a day with me. I told him I was on my cycle and he said that's fine. I called him in the evening. He didn't pick up and he didn't come by. I texted and asked if it's because I couldn't have Nook Nook is why he didn't come, and he got mad about it, saying I am rude. He went on a trip and then he ignored me for 6 weeks with no contact. He came back and now I'm wondering what to do. Is this behavior okay? He didn't even apologize. He said he had to teach me not to say stuff like that to him, which to get him upset. You have a man that you call yourself dating and he ignores you for 6 weeks, that relationship is over. So I don't know where he went and what he was doing while he was gone, and he thought that that was okay. But you need to tell him, it's fine that you didn't contact me for 6 weeks, because from this point on, don't bother to contact me ever, motherfucker, because this shit here is over. Keep on doing whatever it was you was doing for them 6 weeks. Don't even worry about me. But knowing me, I wouldn't even have to say all that when he, after the second week, I would just block him, because, you already know what that means. And then he just would have came back 6 weeks later and found out that he couldn't call me because his number was blocked. Okay. And even though he don't want to admit it, that that's why he didn't come over. He wanted to spend a day with you so bad that he would still come and spend a day with you. But he did that because of that little obstacle. He didn't spend a day with you. And so you and I both know that that's why he didn't come, and he knows it too. Question number 19. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's African American, a Pisces from Charlotte, North Carolina. The male is 28 to 34. He's Black and an Aries. Summary of issue. My boyfriend of 4+ years refuses to get a full-time job. Oh, God, a dusty. He's 28. I'm 27, if that matters. He does enough side work to get by on his small amount of bills since he lives with his mother and father. He had one full-time job, but he quit it after 2 weeks because he felt like he wasn't going to make it in the field it was in because it was labor intensive. But is he like, he don't have no muscles? What's going on here? He has a small amount of schooling behind him, but he thinks his couple of years of experience is worth $20+ an hour. He literally gets so angry if he's out of a position that wasn't what he applied for, or if the pay doesn't line up what he thinks he should be making. He takes it as a personal insult. He's also denied jobs that would have been pretty good, but he thought the company was full of shit because he didn't like the interviewer. Unfortunately, I fell for him very fast and didn't take issue with this as I should have, so I only have just recently in the last year talked to him about it. He seemed receptive of me telling him he needs to get a full-time job because I wanted to further our relationship, like getting a house together, having kids in the next couple of years since we are getting older. But we can't do that on just my salary. He's never changed and he never got a full-time job. Last time it was brought up, it was basically him blaming the world and that he is trying to get a job, but he's not going to take a job less than the money he wants to make. I love him still, but I don't know what to do anymore. What can I say to him that can make him realize he needs to get a job, even if it's not exactly what he wants? You can't do that. See, another one who's doing, what was my show that I did a couple of weeks ago, the Sunday sermon, about women just not accepting reality and just like trying to live a fairy tale life of what coulda, woulda, shoulda, instead of looking at the man as he is. What you have is a dusty bum who's got an overinflated opinion of himself and think he's supposed to make grand theft money, and he don't have no sense. Barely has any education and very little experience. But he thinks he's supposed to, come in the door making all kinds of money. So what you have to do is accept reality that this is it. The man that you see that doesn't want to work for and thinks he's grand and wonderful, that's who he is. So you talk about how can I make him understand? What you want him to do is change. He's not going to change. This is what he is. This is who he is. You either take him as he is and shut the fuck up, or you leave him alone and go and find a man who's more mature and understands his place in the world and what starting at the bottom means when you're young. That's what you do. You start at the bottom and you work your way up. He doesn't want to do that, especially he don't even have no college degree or nothing. So he's really going to be starting at the bottom. Ooh, and you sitting up here worrying about, oh, we're going to have children. Well, how are you going to have kids with somebody like this? How's he going to support a family like this? He still lives with his mommy and daddy, and they take care of him. And you sitting up here fantasizing about marriage and children with a male child like this. So, I have to ask you, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why aren't you looking at this realistically? He can't do nothing for you. He can't even do nothing for himself. His parents are doing it for him. He's probably paying the cell phone bill and buying a few tanks of gas or something. That's pretty much all he's living for. We're gonna get a house together. He ain't gonna do shit. You're gonna be doing all that by yourself and taking care of him too. That's what's gonna happen. Oh, it's so hot in here. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. Let's move on. Question number 20. Female, 22 to 27, from Washington, D.C. Some of the issue. Buying my own engagement ring, should I? What do you guys think? Let's have a vote. Let's show of hands. Would you want to buy your own engagement ring? Yes or no? What you think, ladies and ladies in the chat? Would you buy your own engagement ring? Let me vote. Let me vote too. I'm going to vote. Let me type my answer in here. There's my answer. And let's see how it was. Oh my God. ACA. Yeah, I don't get that one either. Okay, let's see what she's talking about. My boyfriend of 2 years has recently been hinting that he's going to propose to me. And when I asked him what kind of ring he would propose to me with, he chose a ring that was completely not my style. I told him I didn't love the ring when I looked at it online. And when he asked what ring I would like, I haven't told him as I feel bad. Well, then what you bring it up for then? He asked you, you're supposed to tell him. He's not great with saving money, and I know that the ring I absolutely love is extremely expensive and something he wouldn't be able to afford. However, I have enough savings to be able to buy the ring and would be more than happy to spend that amount of money on a ring I would absolutely love. Would it be wrong of me to buy my own engagement ring? I'm extremely grateful for the fact that he's still working and providing for us as a family, and I know he'd have worked hard for the ring. I just don't want him to feel like I'm not appreciative of the ring he chooses if he had the option. I just don't know how to go about showing him the style of ring I like without him thinking I want the most expensive ring. Well, because you do. I mean, what is it you want here? First, you don't want to hurt his feelings, but you don't want the ring that he's gonna get because you don't like it. Okay, so you know it's gonna hurt his feelings if he asks you what you like and then you don't want to tell him because now you feel bad. So it's like you just put him in setting him up. So no matter what he does, it's not gonna be right. It's not gonna satisfy you. So yeah, you probably do need to buy your own ring because you just a pain in the ass. Jesus. She a pain in the buttocks. Yeah, you buy your own engagement ring and just make that man feel like a roach. Go ahead about your ring, about a ring that's not even an investment. The money should be saving money to buy a house or some shit. Something serious. Pay for the wedding even. But you want to put it all on the ring so you can flash it around and try to make other women jealous. It's not that serious. You don't even need an engagement ring. Just get a wedding band. Bunch of showy nonsense anyway. Question number 21. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. She's black, a Taurus from Fresno, California. The male is 35 to 41. He's a Gemini. He's European descendant, European/white. Summary of issue. Should I file a restraining order on my soon-to-be ex-husband? Ooh, that sounds serious. Hello, Deb. Thank you for always giving solid advice. I've been married for 10 years. I finally decided to go through with the divorce. Thank you, Johnny. There's been so many issues throughout our marriage. He is passively controlling. He uses religious doctrine as a tool to control what I do, my interest in spiritual things such as crystals, and not seeing Jesus as God. But okay, girl, I don't need to know all that. He called me a murderer and other disgusting things when I got a termination. Is financially abusive. He wrote over $700 bad checks on my bank account. I had to threaten and report him for fraud until he finally gave me the money to pay it off. He adds to the messes on. He cleans the yard or garage. Emotionally abusive. He's very passive aggressive. Is fusses when he's irritable, and sometimes is condescending when speaking to the children, and they're 2, 8, and 10. He is an emotionally aloof, detached, lazy lover that doesn't prioritize me and is only pleasant when he wants nook. I also recently caught him cheating with a mom I met at the park. Wow. I developed a friendship with a woman that works with him, and she and supposedly other coworkers, is this 2 pages? Suspect that he may be using substances. She suspects this because he is friends with her ex that pops e-pills, picks at his face sometimes. She claims it's due to ingrown hairs. And I found crystal in my car last year. He said his friend claimed it was his, saying he dropped it. I believe he was on drugs last year, possibly on and off this year, but maybe not. My friend is suggesting that number one, get a restraining order on him. Number 2, put him on child support. The paperwork has been filed. Number 3, ask for monitored visitation. I believe I should, number 1, only file for court-ordered drug tests, and number 2, get child support, and number 3, alimony, and for half of the 401k. He has no savings or assets. I've been a stay-at-home mother for years, but I've recently applied for a 2-month CNA program while in training as an independent travel agent / marketing rep on the side. Cutting him out like that seems unnecessary when he's a decent parent and not a danger to me or the children. He's just simply not as attentive when it comes to caring for and loving the children, but it seems he enjoys verbally disciplining them, which he does on a regular basis. When he does play with them, it's usually very loud and obnoxious. Okay, so he threw a spray bottle against the wall. It ricocheted and hit her eye. My vision has been slightly affected with light sensitivity and blurriness. This is a police documented incident that happened in 2022. Should I go through with the restraining order and monitor visitation? What do you suggest? Give it to me straight. Oh, well, I'm going to tell you this. If you don't put something, at least make him get it drug tested with his erratic ass behavior, and you got young children, and you think that he should have them, and you say he's like a detached, he's not really as attentive as he should be with little kids, you have to be very attentive. So I would think that if you don't take some steps here to put something in place to protect them, you would be as negligent as him if something happened to them. What you do as the mother is you always press for extra. You press for extra shit. You let the court decide if it's too much. You don't decide if it's too much. The court will make that determination based on the results of his drug testing, psychological examination, and examination of his home and his mental state and all this kind of stuff. That's who's going to decide. It's not going to be you. It's not going to be me. Well, I'm just letting you know that everything that your friend said, you better put that shit in play. Okay? And if the court says no, well, then they just say no. But you would have done it because you see how he is with them kids, and you see how he is with, having all these sus-ass shit in the car and acting his behaviors all erratic and stuff. Can you imagine him doing that with the little kids and you're not there to run interference? That's why he needs supervised visitation. But like I said, you just said, tell the court what you found in the car and how he had a friend say that it was his, but said you're still concerned that he would have something like this even in the vehicle because the kids get in the vehicle. What if one of them thought it was candy and ate it before he noticed it? This is the kind of thing, that's why they have supervised visitation, because these kind of careless things like this will put little kids either in the hospital or in the graveyard. So you tell the court you want him to get tested to make sure that it really was his friends and not his. And then if there's any kind of issues along those lines that are that are revealed by this test, that you insist on supervised visitation, because he can't be trusted if he's abusing substances. Okay, it's not a safe environment for your children, and they will agree with you. Okay, if you've been a stay-at-home mother, you're gonna get child support, and any of the other assets with his retirement stuff, you would get half of that. So all of those things, you should be getting all of those things. Yeah, this is like, man, I don't know. As soon as I found some crystals in my car, we would have been split up then. You're not gonna be having my babies around no shit like that. Because little kids put everything in their mouth, especially if it looks like some candy or something that they had before, they're gonna eat it. And then they're going to get in, they're going to have a problem, and then you're going to have one with the law. Whew. And our last question of the day. Good Lord, that was a rough one. Female 20 to 34, she's white from Manchester, England. The male is 35 to 41, also Caucasian. Some issue. We bought a house and relationship is now at risk because of money arguments. I'm first time writing in, but long time listener from the UK. I would love your advice, Deb. My partner of 5 years seems to think it's okay that we pay mortgage and all bills 50-50, even though he earns 25,000 pound things, that's the L, right? Pounds, more than me. Because he paid the deposit for our new house. We're moving into it in a few weeks, which I said I will pay him back half of it over the next year, so I needed more time to save. I'm very grateful he stepped up for the deposit. We are in the same job in a different industry. Oh, well, no. I'm going to tell you right now, he paid all the deposit, let him pay all the mortgage, and anything associated with that house, because that's going to be his house. You're going to save your money all right, and then you're going to buy your own house. That's what you're going to do. Don't you give him no money on that house. You're just going to lose all your money. Because you already have a drama. I haven't got to the drama part yet, but you already admitted you have a drama. You haven't even moved in yet. Okay. We're in the same job, different industry. He also paid for the majority of a large holiday because he came into some money last year. He's a very kind and caring and encouraging person, but this argument has really questioning if he sees me as an equal or sees us as a team. Even before we decided to buy a house together, he did think that we should both pay all our bills 50-50. Our income has always differed by 15 to 30,000 pounds. I never really thought much of it, but now I realize I could have saved thousands more if we paid pro rata. He said to me paying pro rata would be ridiculous because we both earn a good salary. It seems to me he wants to have a woman he can take out for dinners, holidays, and give gifts, which sounds nice, but it also makes me feel like he can then expect me to do more of the household chores. He does do chores, I say, but it's 30% him and 70% me. You know, the usual unfair load. I would much rather us both contribute to holidays and dinners, etc. Any advice? Well, then break up with him and go find a man that makes less money so y'all will be more on the same keel. I don't know what else to tell you. You know, you got somebody who's making, as you guys get older, his income disparity is most likely going to increase. Unless you go back to school or something happens where you get some kind of promotion. He's gonna make more than you because he's in a different industry that probably pays more. Could you switch to that industry too, make more money versus the industry that you're in? You said same job but different industry. Could you switch to that industry so you can make more money? That's one possibility as well. But whatever way you look into it, you know, my thing is I would never be with a man that wanted me to pay 50-50 on anything. We're not gonna do that. And people be like, well, you know, that's so old fashioned. Oh yeah, well, so what? Are you gonna do 50% of birthing a goddamn baby that you want? Are you gonna do 50% of the labor? Are you gonna do 50% of the pregnancy? Are you gonna do 50% of the birthday party getting togethers and little sleepover things and all other shit that makes, you know, families run? Are you gonna do 50% of that? Are you gonna do that? The answer to that is no. You already know you're not gonna do it. You gonna buy presents for your family and Christmas and stuff? Are you gonna go do all that shopping? You know the answer to that question is no. That's the emotional labor contribution that women put into relationships, and they need to be compensated for that. So men, you gonna pay the house, you gonna pay for rent, house note, mortgage, whatever. You're gonna pay for all of that, everything connected with the home, and then I will do the other stuff that you know you can't do, don't have time to do, and don't have no interest in doing. But those are the things that, you know, you need them two things together to make a happy family. So each one of you got to pull your weight, but it's going to be weight in different areas. Men want women to do all the emotional labor and do half the financial labor too. No, motherfucker, we're not doing that. So you're going to do all the financial labor and then I'll do this other stuff. Yeah, and there's women be falling for that shit. I don't understand. Like, y'all stupid. You think you're going to get some man and he's going to tell you to pay 50% and you're going to do it? Tell him you can take 50% of my foot up your ass. How about you do that? Because I'm not doing that. You want me in your life, you got to understand the value that I bring to it. And it's not the money. You're going to do that part. That's your job as the man. You don't want to be the man, then you're going over there and be some dude's boyfriend. I don't know what to tell you. But it's like, if you want me, that's how it's going to roll. That's the program. That's how it's going to roll. But, you know, because they don't think about that kind of stuff. Is Christmas, you think that birthday parties for kids and barbecues for your family and Christmas gifts and all them household decorations that make the house smell good and everything look all cheery and shit when your family comes over? You think all that shit went up by fucking elves? Who you think did all that shit? When your kids get sick, do you take off of work to take them to the doctor and go and take care of them? No, that's usually the mama. You might pick them up from school a time or two here and there, but all of that emotional labor that men take for granted, that even if they're being toilet paper when you reach for it on the roll in the bathroom, if there's toilet paper there, who do you think put that there? Did the elves come and do that shit? Who keeps that house running? The laundry done, the rug cleaned, stuff dusted, the windows cleaned, all the stuff. So that when you come home, the house smells good and it looks nice. Who did that? They don't understand any of that. They just think, I don't know what they think, it just happens by magic or some shit. No, that woman put that time and energy in to do that. And if you had to pay her to be the chef, the cook, the shopper, what they call it, secret shop, special shop, whatever they call it, and then, gift wrapper and all these things that women do, if you had to pay for all of them services, it would be a grip. You can't afford that. So instead, you have a wife. So that means you're gonna take care of her financial needs. Well, you gonna do that part, and she gonna do all other stuff. So yeah, he can get a male roommate. He can get a male boyfriend. He can do whatever he want to do. I really don't care. You can go find some other dumb broad women to do 50-50. But that ain't gonna happen over here. Because if you're a woman and you understand the value of what you bring to a relationship, a household, a family, the price, there's no price that can be put on all of that time and energy. It's like you work a full-time job too, mostly part-time, whatever, but it doesn't, your work, once you hit that door, it doesn't stop like his does. You take over, make supervise the children's homework and baths and story time and washing the girls' hair on the weekend and doing their hair and stuff like this. And little black girls have long, thick hair. I mean, that's a chore. I mean, we would take out hours to do my daughter's hair. I was like, oh my God, it's time to do her hair again. I'd just be like wanting to cry. And you do that kind of stuff, and men just don't get it. And I think a lot of women don't understand it either. They do it so automatically, they don't really understand it has value. All those meals you prepare, the cooking, the shopping, all the dishes you wash, the cabinets you organize so that you can find stuff, so they have snacks and shit like that when they're hungry. They didn't have to go get that stuff. You did all that to make life convenient and easy for them. And they better fucking appreciate it. And don't you ever come talking, fixing your lips to talk to me about no goddamn 50-50. Because that'll be the grounds for divorce. Yeah. But they think we like doing it because women, well, I mean, some of them do like doing it. I never really like doing it, but, you know. So we just didn't have, we didn't do all that stuff. I have a birthday party, and I put everybody in the car and we go to Chuck E. Cheese. They run around, have a good time. Here's a balloon, some shit you buy, a little party package. They come and drop the shit off at the table. Yeah. Here, kids. And then I get up and leave all that mess around. Yeah, 25,000 pounds. How much is that in money, in dollars? Because it was the L thing. That's pounds, right? I just want the ladies listening to have some understanding of better appreciate themselves and what you bring to a relationship. Do not get into it. You got some boyfriend or potential husband talking about you're gonna do 50-50, drop his ass like a hot rock because he doesn't value you. He sees no value in what makes a house a home, what makes the people living under residence a family. That the woman is like the core, the central, which everybody else revolves around, is the mama. And so if he doesn't understand that, that means he's not going to value you and the contributions that you, and the time and energy that you expend on him and your children and his extended family and your extended family. He's not going to value that. He's going to turn his nose up and sneer at it. And if you want to surely have a man way to feel unappreciated and unloved and taken for granted, then you get with one of them 50-50 motherfuckers. $33,000? Well, that is a sizable difference. Okay. So he makes $33,000 a year more than her and wants her to go 50-50. And she's stupid and she was going to do it. Wow. Luckily, she woke up, woke up though. So anyway, that is our show. Do I know when I'll be back? I absolutely have no clue. I could barely, I'm sweating. I'm telling you, look at my whole face is sweaty. this heat wave. It just kept me out of this room. This room was like a fucking oven. I had to turn I bought this extra fan and turned the ceiling fan on and opened up all the windows and everything to air this room out to try to drop this temperature. It was over 100 degrees in here with my phone. It does the temperature thing, and it shot up. I saw the little thing moving, and it got this little. It's 101. I just started opening windows and stuff to try to cool it down in here. But I'm still hot. So do I know when this heat breaks? I don't know when it's going to break. I don't know. Then I can come in here again. Thank you, son. And yeah, but it'll be sometime next week. When, like I said, I don't know. Just hit the subscription button so that you get a notification. Except for Giggles, they sent hers late because they gave me a respite. Like, oh, let's give her 30 minutes without Giggles. Yes, smash the like. Thank you, Shay. Thank you, everybody, for coming, showing up, even though you never know when I'm going to be here. But I like that you guys are just so diligent about following. I'll see you real soon, okay?